All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining in, watching, visiting. I'm Sean Hogan. I'm the owner of the Hogan Enterprises. Today is the third and I think final episode of Meet the Fleet. And today it is the trucks and all the trailers. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you can, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Trying to grow my presence on YouTube. I recently started also doing some shorts this week. You can also find some of those. So yeah, without further ado, here we go. So we'll start with Dusty, as I lovingly refer to him as. 2014 F350. Got it in, see, it would have been March, April. Yes, I believe so. It's F350 Lariat. We added the headache rack and the fuel tank about a year after we got the truck, because I quickly ran into not being able to have fuel for my jobs, and running 5-gallon fuel cans is kind of a pain in the butt. Has 197? Yeah. 197,000 miles. Had about 190, I think, when we bought it. This is the main driver of the business. We bought this truck and the big gooseneck trailer back there that we're walking to. Not the same time, but they were like a week apart. And we got those specifically because I needed a trailer to haul the tractor and the mower on. At the time, I didn't have anything else. We didn't have the Bobcat. Didn't have the other trailers. Literally started this business with that truck, this trailer, and the tractor. So we, this is a 2021, I believe, PJ. Got it from Diamond K Trailer Sales in Halsey. They're awesome. If you're ever looking for a trailer in this area, go check them out. No, they did not pay me to say that. I'm just giving them a good customer review. In fact, all of my videos in which I showcase anything or say good things, I am not paid by them, nor am I endorsed, so completely just word of mouth reviews. But yeah, so PJ, it's a 18,000 pound, 25 foot, 25 and 7, I don't know. I think it's 32 feet overall. I figured I needed at least 26 feet when I measured the tractor and the mower, which is the longest thing I haul with the loader. The mower is all the way against the front, and the bucket of the tractor sits on top of my ramps. You'll also see it in videos. We haul hay with it, the skid steer, everything and anything. It doesn't get used quite as much now that we have the other trailers. But originally, like I said, back when we started, it was just this trailer and that pickup. So yeah, that's the gooseneck. Pulls great. It's done everything I've ever needed it to do and then some. It's awesome for hauling hay. I've probably even put more on it than I'm supposed to. It still does a really good job. So I have no complaints. PJ makes a good trailer. And this is my favorite feature. Keep all the gear for tying down equipment, hay. The only thing not on the trailer currently is the V-bars for hay. The oversized banners and stuff are because the mower is 10.5 feet wide, and so anytime I haul it, it's technically oversized. So we definitely want to put those out. And there's also a beacon inside the truck. I put up on the roof. It's magnet for extra lights, visibility. As you'll see, I'll talk about it briefly since it's sitting here. This is my other F350 I lovingly refer to as Duck. I've had duck for like 4 years now, but completely personal. It's not, it's never done anything for the business. I don't intend to use it for the business. My very first truck was a 97, and ever since I got rid of it, I wanted another one. So I was able to find this one. Granted, it's a 95 in different color, but everything else is the same. Plan on doing a full restoration on it at some point. But for now, still functional. I use it just to get around, go to work, things like that, back up. Like I said, I don't do anything business related with it. Anyways, back to the video here. I'll go this next, so in order. So the gooseneck was first, and then in that same year, we found a really good deal on a dump trailer. And I think this is a 20, so the gooseneck's a 2021 or 22. This is a 2018. So it was already a few years old when we bought it. But we got a good deal on it. It came with wooden racks that are probably twice, they're a little bit taller than this front part is here. Use that for brush. We had to do a little fixing on the lights, and some pieces were missing, and some other stuff had happened, I think, from other people. But not a whole lot to it. Gates swing apart, and then you can also change the pins to where it'll hinge from up top, and then the gate will swing out, which is great for spreading gravel. If you got big bulky things, just unlatching them and swinging them open is great. For the beginning of this year, after we got the Bobcat, because the tractor won't fit in here. It's only a 7 by 14, I'm pretty sure. Maybe 16. Anyways, we got it this year. We got it, and we were using it to haul the Bobcat to jobs, especially jobs that needed materials as well. The problem is the ramps that came with it are not quite strong enough. I don't know how well it shows, but you can see they're bowed a little bit already. And then the other thing that happened was when you load the Bobcat into it, it would pick up not only the trailer, but the rear of the truck. So to offset that, we started raising the bed a little bit, which would help shift it, and it helped for a while. And then came the day where we tried to do that at a customer's, and the customer's property is almost all sloped. So the first time we had tried it, I had the truck in park, obviously, the e-brake on, shut off, everything. I just had the trailer in the ramps, and I was going up. And the skid steer picked the back of the pickup off the ground so that the back tires are no longer making contact, which then makes your park and your parking brake ineffective because it only affects the rear axle, and the truck went rolling backwards. Thankfully, I was able to back down the ramps. Everything came down, everything stopped, everything was good. We were like 3 feet short of hitting the customer's building. Thankfully, we didn't. Unfortunately, in that same day, in the same job, same customer, we then moved the truck to another spot that was flatter, but not flat enough. In fact, it was the same spot where I'd unloaded that morning, and I'd unloaded with 0 problems. Went to load, and it did the same thing, but this time I sloped the other way. The truck and trailer went forward, and about 2 feet, 3 feet into the customer's RV, did about $1,000 worth of damage. We paid for it, fixed it, made sure everything was right with the customer. And after that, we're like, well, this isn't going to work anymore. Like I said, we were trying to get by for another year or two, but unfortunately, it's just not a safe situation, which leads me to this. So we bought this year. It was in July. I think I took it to jobs in August, so July. It's like a 2008 or 2009, I'm not entirely sure. It's another PJ. It's a 16,000 pound, I think, deck over. It's power tilt, so then the box there's motor and controls. I didn't necessarily, I wanted a deck over. Had to be a deck over, because anytime I want to haul anything that's anything with rails or sides or fender wells is a pain in the butt. We haul a lot of bundles, like for lumber, hay, all of that. So deck over is the way to go. But as you can see here, it's got pump, motor, switch. So one of the reasons I wanted this specifically is because it will tip up. The whole bed tips, and then it sits, the back end will actually sit on the ground. So there's no ramps, which I like. The only reason I'm okay with the ramps on the gooseneck is because they're the monster ramps that are the whole width of the trailer, and they're physically attached, so you can't slip out, fall off, anything weird like that. That light bar is on spring hinges, so when the trailer tips up, it just swings them up underneath, out of the way, and this whole piece here sits on the ground, and you can just drive right up and drive right off. I wish it had a gravity down. It doesn't. It's power down. It's probably the one thing that's kind of not great. The dump trailer's the same way. Apparently that's a newer thing, because older dump trailers I've seen people have a gravity down, and I would much prefer that, but unfortunately they don't. So it's power up, power down. I don't know a lot about this trailer because I'm the third or fourth owner. I haven't done much to it other than I made sure to get all the lights working, made sure tires were in good shape. That winch is not great. It's like a $200 Harbor Freight winch that someone put on there. I'm probably going to pull it off because the additional wiring just kind of gets in the way, and I don't really have a use for it. But anyways, so yeah, we bought it. Hauled the skid steer on it. I've hauled some hay on it, hauled some lumber on it. I wanted it. I'd like to have one of these, but in a gooseneck, about the same length. It's 22 feet long. 24 would be perfect, because 24 would fit, actually 21 is perfect. So 22, this is actually perfect, because it'll fit 3 blocks of hay. I was doing the math wrong in my head. This would fit 3 blocks of hay, no problem. It's small enough that you can still get it in pretty much anywhere. I just wish it was a gooseneck. I'm sure they make them. I know they have them. I just didn't find one. And also the other reason is that if we had to, we could still put this behind the wife's half-ton pickup. That's actually what we used when we went and got it, and it was not happy about it. I assume this trailer's empty weight's probably somewhere around 9,000 pounds, which is about all they can, the F-150s are good for. So we haven't pulled it behind a half-ton since. It's always gone behind my truck, Dusty. But having that as an option is always nice. Sometimes it might be like, hey, they need to go grab a panel, or they need to get, you know, something that's light but doesn't fit either in the back of the pickup or on a normal trailer, per se. So deck overs for me are the way to go. Someday in the future, I want to add a gooseneck about this size with like 16,000 pound axles, so I could put more weight on it. But it'd be great for smaller deliveries and smaller places. Eventually I want to put bigger axles under that gooseneck, or just get a gooseneck with bigger axles that same size, so it can still do those things and have an easier time with it. Also have plans for a bigger truck, either a newer F-350, probably a dually, or maybe even stepping up to a 450, because when we're running, say, 3 blocks of hay and the Bobcat with the Huma grapple on that gooseneck, it's easily, you know, 16 to 18,000 pounds by itself. And so that's enough to make me want, you know, a little more. It works. I try to be as careful as I can. I load everything as balanced as I can. I would never intentionally overload anything. Never done that. So yeah, as you can see, this trailer needs a little love. That one just needs to be cleaned, but this one just needs some love. I'm hoping to here shortly address a couple of the rotten boards in the deck. I'm gonna get some new tires on it, so it's ready to go for next year. Go through the brakes and bearings, make sure that's all good, because like I said, it's not new, and I'm not the first owner, and I haven't done it, so I don't know when it's been done and what shape everything's in. So I plan to go through it, check everything out, make sure it's ready to go. The lights are all working, but there's a couple of them I want to change out to be better. Visibility is important. But again, PJ makes great trailers. I haven't had any issues with it. It's done everything I've needed it to do, no problem. The Patriot, I haven't had issues with it either. I did just recently replace all the hydraulic lines under it, probably for the first time since it was new. One of them developed a leak, and instead of just trying to fix or replace that one, I just decided to do all of them because they're probably all the originals, which means that the others probably weren't far behind. And it just keeps everything, like, it's nice to know, peace of mind, you know. Everything's new, everything's good, everything should be good to go. I don't know what kind of life it led before I bought it, so I don't know if that made... It seemed to me like the hydraulic lines should have, you know, lasted longer than they did, but maybe not. They were about 4 or 5 years old. Obviously, it gets used far less now, especially since we have this one. This one definitely gets used the most out of the three. The gooseneck mostly gets used for when I have mowing jobs, and then also when I have when I'm getting hay out of the fields, hauling here, where I know everything's big, wide, and open, so I can get as much hay as possible, because I can fit 250 bales on that trailer, and it would only be like half of that on this trailer, maybe even less. So anyways, this is the rest of the Meet the Fleet. I think that about covers it until we get to add more fun things. There's definitely plans for more equipment in the future. This next year, like I've been saying, hopefully we're going to get into some baling, so there'll be some equipment there. Eventually, I'd like to add a mini excavator. Right now, I'm just kind of going for best bang for the buck, since bucks are tight, so making the most of what I can with what I got. But I think I've kept up enough using minis on jobs that I could probably justify having one, and there's always things around here I could probably find to do with it too. Yeah, this time of year it's kind of weird because it's all this equipment that we use off and on all season long, but then it's like the second season's over and it goes in the winter, then all this stuff sits sometimes for months, and so it's kind of a, you know, remembering that, hey, you know, it's not just sitting here wasting, collecting, costing money. I mean, it does to a point, but it's not because it's not needed. It's just because this time of year, the work that we do isn't as easy. Plus, this is also right before the holidays, so a lot of customers, you know, they're doing holidays and Christmas and New Year's and whatever else, and so I don't get a lot of phone calls, which is fine. This will be my time. Hopefully here soon we're going to start going through this trailer. Like I'd mentioned, I need to go through the tractor and do a few minor things. The skid loader needs a fire extinguisher installed. I finally figured out where I'm going to put it. The tractor got one finally. But yeah, it's basically just winter projects. Like I said, make sure the trailer's ready to go, make sure all the equipment's ready to go, grease it, clean it, sharpen it. Basically just so, you know, as soon as business picks up next year, then we're ready to hit the ground running. Everything's ready to go. Nothing actually truly just sits. Especially like the skid steer and the Bobcat, I run those once, twice a month at minimum, if not more, just to make sure everything's good, fluids are moving, batteries stay charged. So yeah, I think that's about it. And again, if you guys have questions, comments, feedback, please leave them down below. I try to respond to all comments as soon as I can. I usually try to just pop into YouTube once a day, once every other day, just to take a look, see if anything's going on. Because right now, especially in the summertime, that's going to get harder to do because I'm still doing all my own posting and all my own content and all my own everything. So Facebook, Instagram, Nextdoor, YouTube, TikTok. So making content, posting content, creating content, making posts and all that takes an amount of time. I wouldn't say it's a lot, but it's enough to where, like, I may not see it right away. It's basically the short of that. So like I said, I try to pop in and just check things at least once a day, just so if anything shows up, I see it, I can respond. Like I said, I'm trying to get this YouTube thing rolling. Next season, especially once we get going. I have a few videos from this last year that I was able to do from the first person view on the job. Those are going to start coming after this video, because at this point I think I'm out of videos that I can just shoot in person. So I call these one take videos, or basically I walk out, turn the camera on, do the video, and then post it. So everything after this one's going to start being the recorded stuff from before. We've got some stuff for some hay when we did some deliveries for customers. There's one that's, I think there's some footage when we drilled the pilot holes over there for the porch. There's some stuff I think we did for a round pen for a customer, reshaping it, fixing it up how they wanted. So yeah, basically at this point it's going to be more action and more voiceover and less staring at my face while I talk, or listening to me drone on while I point at something. So if you made it this far, thank you. Nice job. It should get a little more exciting from here. As always, I'm trying to improve. So like I said, if you got feedback, that's cool. Share it with your friends, share it in general. That would help. I want to get, I think once I get 1,000 followers, and probably an amount of views, I can start potentially being monetized through YouTube, which is something I would like to try and do, because then, like I said in other videos, it'll give me a chance to start doing more things with my business that don't require me to pay for it or the customer to pay for it, which would be really cool. It could get to where some of these jobs I could just say, hey, let me shoot a video while I do this job. I've got the money to cover it. Don't worry about it. I'll pay for it. So it's free to the customer. Stuff like that. I want to get towards that. That's one of my goals. So anything you can do to help spread the word, get your friends invited. If there's something you want to see, something you haven't seen, questions, I try to address those in the following videos if I see them. So yeah, anything you can do to help, and I would greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.